Okay, so here's what I'm talking about. Your first says polynomial operations. So to add polynomials, you're just combining like terms. That's all we're doing is combining like terms. Subtract, when we subtract polynomials, we need to remember to distribute the negative. We have to remember to distribute the negative. When we multiply, we distribute, multiply coefficients, and add powers of like variables. We can also use FOIL. That's what I was talking about when I said add a capital L. All right, so we're going to do an example of adding and subtracting. Then we'll do an example of multiplying. So adding is just combining like terms. We've done so many examples like that I don't think we need another one. Subtracting means that you have to distribute the negative. When we subtract, we have to distribute the negative. So I have to take this, and remember, this is just like a -1. You have to multiply this by every term in the second polynomial. So the first polynomial doesn't change. 4x squared minus 4x plus 9. But the second polynomial becomes, let's see, negative times 3x is negative 3x. A negative times a positive 5x squared gives me a negative 5x squared. A negative times a negative 2x cubed gives me a positive 2x cubed. And a negative times a negative 6 gives me a positive 6. So what is the largest degreed term here? Largest degreed term is 2x to the power of 3. That's going to become my first term, 2x cubed. My next term, going to be an x squared term. Well, I have a positive 4x squared and a negative 5x squared. What is positive 4 minus 5? -1. So I'm going to write negative x squared. Now I have to look at my x's. Let's see. I have a minus 4x and a minus 3x. What is -4 and -3? Same signs, add and keep. Yep, -7x. Last two terms, a positive 9 and a positive 6. 9 plus 6 is positive 15. So this is now written in standard form, and we've combined all of our like terms. So in standard form, we've combined like terms, and that's an example. Remember, your journals are just examples. That's an example of what it's like to subtract. When you multiply a monomial to a polynomial, you have to remember to multiply the coefficients first and then add the powers on the same variable terms, right? Add powers of like variables. So let's see. 3 times 4 is 12. X cubed times x to the first gives me x to the fourth. Y squared times y squared, well, 2 plus 2 is 4. 3 times -7 is -21. X cubed times x to the first is x to the fourth. Y squared times y to the first is y cubed. 3 times +4 is +12. There is no x power here. So I'm going to just bring that x cubed right along. Y squared times y is y cubed. 3 times -9 is -27. And there are no variables here. So my x cubed y squared goes right along with it. X cubed y squared. So this is my polynomial written in standard form. None of my variable terms have the same powers. I have a product of x to the fourth, y to the fourth, a product of x to the fourth, y cubed, a product of x cubed, y cubed, a product of x cubed, y squared. None of them are the same, okay? So we're going to use the ideas that we learned in our previous. We're going to use a box method and a FOIL. Box method and a FOIL to show you examples. So box method, I'm going to put my 5x squared out here and my -3x. And then my term with 3, my polynomial with 3 terms is going to go across the top. 7x squared minus 2x plus 8. Alrighty, what is 5x squared times 7x squared? Yep, 35x to the fourth. What is 5x squared times negative 2x? Yep, negative 10x cubed, or negative 10x to the third. 5 times 8 is 40. X squared goes along for the ride. Negative 3 times 7x squared. Well, negative 3 times 7 is negative 21. 1 plus 2 is 3, x cubed. Negative 3 times negative 2 is a positive 6. 1 plus 1 is 2, x squared. Negative 3 times 8 is a negative 24. Your x comes along for the ride. Remember that typically you can combine your diagonals. These two terms can be grouped together, and these two terms can be grouped together. So I start off with 35x to the fourth. There's no other fourth power. And negative 21 and negative 10 gives me negative 31 x cubed. A positive 6 and a positive 40 give me a positive 46 x squared. A negative 24x, nothing to add with it, minus 24x. Okay. Our next example says that we're going to use FOIL. Remember FOIL, first, inside, outside, last. First term of the first parenthesis times the first term of the second parenthesis. So 3x times 2x is 6x squared. Outside, 3x times 5. This is the outsides, right? 3x times a positive 5 is a positive 15x. Yes, ma'am. Inside, the two inside terms, negative 9 times 2x is negative 18x. Last, negative 9 times 5 is negative 45. I can combine these terms right here. So I have 6x squared minus 3x minus 45. Remember that FOIL only works for binomials. A binomial times a binomial. The box method works for everything, just like the vertical method, just like distribute. Okay? Box method works for everything. All right. Our last one is a binomial times a binomial, and I used the box. I just made a 2 by 2 box. So I have 2x squared, negative 5x, and then a positive 2x and a negative 7. Positive 2x and a negative 7. Let's see, what is 2x squared times 2x? 4x cubed. What is 2x squared times negative 7x? Yeah, negative 14x squared. What is negative 5x times 2x? Negative 10x squared. And lastly, what is negative 5x times negative 7? Positive 35x. So when I'm all finished, I am able to combine these terms right here. These are both x squareds. So when I'm all finished, I have 4x cubed minus 24x squared plus 35x. Okay.